I have here the Snowsky Echo Mini. It's a DAP, and it's probably one, if not the most affordable DAP currently. It's priced around $50. It's light, it's very portable. You can put your offline music in here. And in the past 2 to 3 years, there's just a lot of release related to dongles costing maybe from $10 to $300. And there's really this gray zone, or there's this empty space of budget DAPs that companies are not really targeting. And Fio or Snowsky seems to be hitting that area there. Good day guys, this is Practiphile, and today let's talk about the Snowsky Echo Mini. Thank you so much Fio or Snowsky for sending this over. And yeah, I am not going to make this review long. I'm pretty sure you've seen some videos already of the Snowsky Mini review. The unboxing is pretty simple. It's straightforward. You get the box, the DAP here, and the cable. That's it. Nothing really to talk about there. The internal specs of this is it features a dual Cirrus Logic 43131. You know that DAC, it's a legendary DAC. It's a clean sounding DAC. I don't really want to talk about the sound of DAC, but at least it's doing the right things. There a lot of releases with different companies that using the DAC, and it seems to be everyone accepts that it is a clean sounding DAC. It supports most playback right there. DST, WAV, FLAC, MP3, OGG Verbis. It has an internal storage of 8 gigabytes, and probably that's for the software in here because yeah, there is an interface here. There is a UI, 8 gigabytes of that. However, it only supports 256 of memory SD card. So I'm not sure if it's a good thing for you. I mean, if you have like 1 terabyte of files, wow, you're rich, or you're a The Bluetooth is SBC only. It doesn't support AAC or LDAC, so only SBC. For the external specs on this, you have the power button here, the volume buttons, the play, pause, the menu, and back. Here, right side of this one here, you get the SD card slot, the USB Type-C. The other side, you have the 3.5 and 4.4 termination. It doesn't really have a removable battery, although they seem to have, there's this crease in here that shows it's, like the battery is removable, but it doesn't really open. That's it. It's pretty light. It's about 55 grams. Dang, I can throw it. It is an IPS display as well. To navigate the UI, you have here. So you're in the main screen. The first one, you have the file browser. And when you go in there, and to navigate, just use the arrows or the volume buttons. So you have the file browser, playlist, music playing, music setting, and system settings. So let's go to the file browser first. This is where you update the media library. When you insert your SD card, you go to TF card, and you can see there media update library, and you go back using the back button, and you have the playlist in there, and you can see you toggle between like all songs, favorite artist, genre, folder, like that. Music playing, of course, it shows you what music you're playing now. And then for the music setting, you have there the Bluetooth setting, the screen setting, timeout, shutdown settings, date and time, interface, language, information in the updated firmware now, music support. As you can see there, yeah, it shows you what file format it supports, reset all settings, format disk, format TF card, and that's pretty much it. And when you want to update the firmware, you just go to the Fio site, you download the file, copy it, and just paste it there, because this will be read as like a removable device, and just paste the update there, remove it, and when you turn it on, it's gonna automatically update the firmware in here. So that's pretty much it about this one here, although I really wish this has an M3U support for the playlist. I mean, I was born in a time where I have to physically make my playlist, like putting all the musics in one folder. That's the best way to put a playlist in here because it doesn't read M3U files. An M3U file it's a soft copy of the playlist. It's just the data, the metadata of your playlist, and you can create M3U files from different DAPs and it's easier to make a playlist that way because you just search the song, tick, and create a playlist. In here, you have to physically make a folder to have a playlist, if that makes sense. Well, if you already have that established in your PC or somewhere, that's good. If you're starting just new and, you know, it may be a hassle to make your playlist from scratch. So the battery life, I'd say it plays probably around 13 to 15 hours of playback, depending on like if you play it continually. I don't think someone plays 15 hours straight, you know. And the good thing about this is you can also set like auto power off, so it doesn't really drain the battery. So when you're not using it, it just turns off automatically. You can set it. The battery saving options on this one here is really, really great. Moving on to the sound. How does this one sound? Again, it's so hard to talk about the sound, but I would say that this one is a very clean sounding device. Clean in a way that I didn't hear any elevation on the bass. It's tight, it's well controlled. The mids are not glaring. It's very transparent, near natural sounding, not that organic, but it's clean, it's transparent. I didn't see any treble forwardness in a way that it doesn't really boost a lot of the high frequencies. It doesn't make the cymbals sound metallic. So far, it's a very, very good sounding device. Just clean and transparent. So you may not hear the differences, but for me, I mean, like switching devices like the Retro Sky, my Shanling M3X, the JM21, I mean, I can tell there's a subtle difference on the sound. Moving on to the comparisons. Now, it's funny because the actual competitor of this one here is actually their other product, which is the Snowsky Retro Nano. This one here is a Bluetooth DAC amp. This is comparing apples to oranges, but okay, I want to put a point here. Yes, Snowsky or Theo released a budget DAP at $50, but the thing is, it doesn't have Wi-Fi, it has Bluetooth, but the thing is, you have to have an offline library in order for you to enjoy this. Now, I know having an offline library can be expensive, you know, you're gonna buy stuff online, or you can rip CDs yourself. If you have like 1,000 songs ripped to your offline library, then good, maybe you have a lot of collections, but again, my point is, if you have a huge offline collection, then you probably don't need this. You probably can afford a more expensive DAP, if that makes sense. If you're on a tight budget, you're just entering the hobby and you're looking for a budget DAP, you can buy this, but where would you get your offline library, if that makes sense? You know what I mean? So that's why my argument is, I think the Snowsky Retro Nano is a good pick if you're just starting in the hobby, because it makes your phone or any device your source of music, you know, because I think, in my opinion, it's cheaper to be subscribed to a music service like Apple, Amazon Music, Tidal, Qobuz, or whatever, you know, because you can search there. You don't have to have an actual, you know, offline library to play your favorite music, if that makes sense, right? In that case, the Retro Nano is a more compelling device actually for beginners. I mean, if I'm not saying that you can't buy this, of course you can buy this, because, you know, some people just want an easier device. This thing right here, it's a shuffle player, you know, like, you know how iPod shuffles work? You just shuffle them. This is just an upgraded version of that. You just shuffle it. I mean, you can play your playlist if you have an offline playlist there, but this is just a shuffle device. So that's my point. That's my point. So if you're, you know, if you're a beginner and you just, you know, you're just starting in the hobby, I suggest that you pick the Retro Sky Nano and subscribe to like a music streaming service. That is better. If you already have an existing library, then maybe you can pick the Echo Mini. If you want a dedicated DAP with Wi-Fi, with Android, you have an offline library together with, like, you are also subscribed to a music streaming service, then maybe the JM21 would fit your bill. Sound-wise though, all three are good, but if I rank it, it's probably gonna be like sound-wise, okay? With all the three, it's probably gonna be the Retro Nano first in terms of sound, the Echo Mini comes second, and probably the JM21 comes last in terms of sound. I don't know if it's just me, or I don't know, for other reviewers, you ask them, but for me, this Retro Sky Nano really does sound better than all the other two. Yeah, I think that's it for my review on this one here. It's really not that really deep, but I'm just letting you know and helping you, you know, like decide if this is really for you. I would suggest the Echo Mini if you have an offline library, or you're just someone who, you know, like you have an offline library and you want like a shuffle device. It's very light, put your SD card in there and shuffle away. Although the media library update takes, I don't know, between 2 to 5 minutes depending on how much music you have. But yeah, it's somewhere in the green zone where it's hard for me to suggest buying the Echo Mini because of the practicality and the usage. You know what I mean? So I would stick with probably the Retro Nano if you're a beginner, Echo Mini if you want a shuffle device, and JM21 if you want Android, Wi-Fi, all the connectivity. So yeah, I think that's it for my video, and it's a hard it's a hard video to make. Thanks so much for watching. Shuffle device, if you have an offline library, that's good. If not, I don't really suggest pirating, but don't pirate, man. See you next time.